think there's different techniques for different people. I think, you know, I'm certainly a big subscriber. Like, music is such a huge part in trying to develop, you know, how do you get into an emotional space? How do you know, but a lot of it, you know, especially with Marcus, he's someone who is desperate to be seen and understood and loved and has no vocabulary on how to deal with that. So it's examining moments in my life where I felt angry or lonely or misunderstood or depressed, and there's a lot to draw from, and then so to be able to, you know, there's a catharsis in being able to bring yourself to it, and then live in the circumstance. You know, wind it all up, put as many details and ingredients as you want into that scene, and then when it comes to action, just let it all go and see what comes out and see if you can surprise yourself. There's a lot of anger in Marcus this season, and I think it's that not being able to be understood. There's an old, I think it's a Buddhist phrase about like holding on to anger is like holding on to a hot coal, and it just all it does is hurt yourself. And not only does it do that, is it hurts everyone around him. And to be able to sit and meditate on that, I've been saying meditate a lot today. That's my favourite word.
It's the word of the day.
I think it's grounds for a really hopefully transcendent experience. Like when we were stepping into those scenes, it was just to be able to provide a space to go as deep and dark and angry and wild as possible was a real joy. And I think Ginny has always been his North Star. Ginny's always been the place where he feels most himself and most loved. And so it's the antidote to how he's feeling. But, you know, as a snake eating its own tail, he doesn't feel like he has enough self-love or that Ginny, you know, deserves to be around someone like him. So it's this push and pull of like, I need to be with this person, I want to show up for her, and I can't, and how that all plays out. You know?
I had our writers hint to me that there was a Max-centric episode in the future, and I was curious what that would look like, because I was a huge fan of the Marcus episode in season 2. And it did not disappoint. Honestly, getting to look inside Max's brain, I mean, I've always lived there. I've always had all of that on the mind, and obviously I'm a fast speaker, and so is Max, and there's a million things happening at the same time, but that's just who she is. And so to get to share that with everyone and kind of open it up in that way was really special. And also just, I love musicals, so getting to do another one of those was hilarious and amazing, and also really special because I do think that it shows a really wonderful side of Max, because those musicals are usually where she shines, and it's when she gets the most attention, and she thrives on that. And instead of basking in the glory of her performance, she uses that time to tell her parents that her brother's struggling. I think that is such a selfless move on her part. I'm so proud of her for that. And yeah, I really do. I think that episode was marvelous, if I do say so myself.